It was
wanna be a, so don't treat me like you. I don't wanna be.
Hey everybody, and welcome to my channel. It is a great pleasure to have my first video be of my daughter and introducing her. So I'd like everyone to meet Miss Sydney Xiomara McClary. She was born September 25th, 2018, 7 pounds even, 19 inches and a quarter, I think. And she is absolutely everything. Like, I cannot get over the fact that I'm a mom now. Yeah, that's a huge thing for me to even try to fathom or anything like that, that I'm a mom. Her dad and I thought that she had a butt chin when she first came out, but really it's just her little fat that's just there. In this video, I just wanted to talk about some things that I went through during my pregnancy and also my labor and delivery story. I know some of you have been asking for details about that. It wasn't anything extravagant, but everybody's own labor story is different and personal, and I just thought I'd just share mine. So I used to like scream that I wanted like 7 kids. No, ma'am. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I even decided to think that I wanted 7. Just baby girl. Why I even thought that I wanted 7 kids. But seriously, like, when I found out I was pregnant, it was probably the most scariest thing that I ever had to like think about. And being pregnant, probably won't even have any more kids. And people say, you know, you're going to change your mind after. I don't really think I'm going to change my mind after this. This whole 9 months, like, everybody that I know that has had kids or has been pregnant before or whatever, everybody just always seems so happy. And I was always wondering, like, why, what makes pregnancy so good? Because for me, I did not enjoy being pregnant. I didn't enjoy being out of breath every single day and just feeling like out of my element. To me, pregnancy kind of crippled me, in my opinion. But that's me. That's my own personal journey. Like, I did not enjoy the sickness. I was sick my entire pregnancy, nauseated, out of breath, could not eat the things that I thought that I would be craving during pregnancy. I didn't crave. Like, before I was pregnant, I wanted pasta, I wanted carbs, I wanted cheese. I remember I was at the salon one day and I had a baked potato and I was craving it so bad, and I ate it, and then like 5 minutes later I threw the whole baked potato up. So annoying. I crave like random stuff at random times, like a Hot Pocket, and I never craved the weird things like dirt and cracks or anything like that, but like, you know, random stuff. Pepsi. Before I was pregnant, soda was never something that I enjoyed drinking. I always drink water, and if I did drink anything else, it would be like, you know, juice or something. But soda, I never was a big soda fan. When I got pregnant, that's all I wanted was Pepsi and Coke every single day. Pepsi, Coke, and coffee. And those are the things that you're not supposed to be drinking when you're pregnant. So it was definitely hard for me to kind of gauge that and make sure that I wasn't consuming too much of those unhealthy products for my baby. But I definitely didn't indulge in some. I did crave a lot of healthy things, spinach, light things like salads. I didn't crave like heavy dressings or sauces or anything like that. Not being able to sleep on my stomach was probably the most annoying thing as well, because that's how I sleep. And so having to sleep on my side, not the best thing. I just didn't enjoy being pregnant. And a lot of people was like, oh my gosh, you're carrying so well. And I think that's because I wasn't eating. I didn't really exercise like that. I have a gym membership, but I mean, I would go walking and stuff. I enjoyed the fact of knowing that there was somebody growing inside of me, but I just wanted it to be like expressed. Okay, I'm pregnant. Tomorrow I'm gonna be, you know, go to the hospital and have this baby, and then that's it. And then we can just skip all of the 9 months that I have to do to prepare for this child. I did not enjoy my prenatal appointments because this is my first child. I wanted to feel like Beyonce. Like, I wanted the doctor to examine every part. I wanted the doctor to tell me what I needed to do, have these plans written out. Some appointments, like early on in my pregnancy, I was there for like 15 minutes. And they checked my weight asked me if I had any problems, and okay, you're good to go. That just did not fly with me because I want to know that my baby's okay. But I mean, the closer you get to your delivery date, you know, that's really when they start really doing stuff. I had a lot of issues with my cervix during my pregnancy. I was told when I first got pregnant that my cervix was not, compatible or something. And it was very scary for me because I also didn't want any complications. I just wanted a healthy baby. So with all the anxiety of, you know, worrying about being a mom and a good mom at that, just worrying about having any health issues. And so I was told that my cervix was not compatible. They would monitor me very closely during my pregnancy. I had really good blood pressure my entire pregnancy and all that good stuff, but for some reason my cervix wasn't compatible. So I had a lot of emergency room scares, a lot of bleeding in the beginning, which I was very afraid that it was like miscarriage. Even with all the scares, like she's here and she's like healthy. The doctors say she's super, super healthy. And I'm just really, really grateful for that. But I turned 39 weeks. I went to my OB and they did a cervix check. Cervix checks probably hurt worse than a freaking pap smear to me. I mean, I get the gist of it. I understand. But a cervix check, I feel as though was the most painful thing in the entire universe. And I had to get at least 10 of them. Yeah, at least 10 of them when I went to the hospital to be induced. So 39 weeks, I went to the OB and they checked my cervix. I was not dilated at all. They're like, it's barely a centimeter or whatever. And they, considering my issues with my cervix during my pregnancy, they suggested an induction, which I was fine with. I did not want to be induced at the beginning of my pregnancy because I wanted to go all natural and just be this natural chick or whatever. I wanted, you know, a natural birth. I wanted so many different things. But when it's time, some things change. And a lot of things changed for me. And I was just, baby, that's not a good angle. We got to teach you your ankles, boo. Got to teach you your ankles. When it was time, and I was ready to let go. They told me, they suggested an induction. They scheduled me for one on Monday. No, actually, they did it on Tuesday, which is September 25th. That was when I was scheduled to be induced. They did one last cervix check before my actual induction date. No, 2 days before, I think. And the doctor was like, you still haven't dilated. It's still like super tight and closed and thick, and it's just not gonna work. So we're gonna get you on Cervidil, which, if you don't know what Cervidil is something that they put in, and it's like it comes like a string kinda, and they put it in to help your cervix dilate and soften so it can start the process for actual labor. They suggested to do Cervidil on Tuesday, but when the doctor checked me before, he suggested to do it on Monday instead. So I actually was admitted into the hospital on Monday at 6 p.m. and I got settled into my room, the room that I was going to deliver in and everything. We are here. This is where the magic is going to happen. This is the bathroom. Me 39 weeks and ready. Shower. I just got dressed. Mom went back to the car to get her phone, and they're gonna come in and hook me up some monitors and stuff, TV. But waiting on Trent to get here and we can get this show on the road. And got dressed and everything. They tell you to get dressed from the waist down. Well, pretty much you're butt naked underneath the gown. And, you know, I wanted my own gown, my own hospital gown. I wanted to get all these cute things. But like I said before, I was over it. I've been over it since I found out I was pregnant. So they came in and they started my IVs and they checked the baby's heartbeat. Baby was looking good. Everything was looking good. And then that's when the cervix checks began. Hey y'all, it's 10:30 cervidil's in, and it's been in for about 2.5 hours. So it has to stay in until 8 o'clock in the morning. And
how do you feel?
I feel normal, like nothing has happened. So hopefully in the morning, when they check me again, I can say that I made some progress. But yeah, other than that, it's supposed to be a real relaxing night.
Yeah. Not much going on here.
So boring.
Just wait. It won't be boring pretty soon.
Yeah. So in the morning, I'll be showered for the Pitocin, and then we'll go from there. But they started doing my cervix checks then. I still was not dilated. They did 1 dose of Cervidil at, I believe, 8 o'clock that night, and that stayed in for 12 hours. So I began experiencing really mild contractions. And my whole entire pregnancy, I researched what contractions would feel like. And really, they are like cramping pains, like period cramping pains. I never really got bad cramps like during my period before I was pregnant, so I didn't know what to expect. So when they inserted the Cervidil, the first time, I did experience some mild contractions, and they weren't really painful. They were like 4 or 5 minutes apart. They lasted for like a minute. And so all through the night, they were kind of, coming and going. It was a little hard to, take it all in. And then she did suggest, the doctor offered me like some medicine just to help with the pain if the contractions get worse. I was trying to, still go natural, still try to do the whole natural thing. And I tried to, thug it out. So the next morning, I woke up and I was just in so much pain. Like, I can't even explain how much pain I was in. It was like I was tired and it felt like I was cramping. But then when she did another cervix check, and that hurt like crazy again. And I still was not dilated at all. So the first dose of Cervidil did not work. That was the most frustrating thing. And to know that I went through the entire night with contractions and not anything happened, it was aggravating. So I took a shower because I felt gross, because you're pretty much naked underneath this gown, and I just wanted, to take a shower. So I took a shower. They started me on Certec, I believe. Yes. And that's pretty much like a pill that they insert. It's kind of the same thing as Cervidil. It's supposed to help soften your cervix as well. So they started that at around like 9 a.m. the next day. And like I said, I had the biggest attitude. My mom was in the hospital room with me, and she was just like done with me because I was so annoyed. I definitely took the medicine that she offered. It wasn't the epidural. It was some other medicine. I forgot what the name of it was. But I took that, and that did help with my pain. I remember going to sleep and waking up to like a huge popping sound. I felt like something pop down there, and then it was just like a gush of water. And I was so freaked out. I just lay there for a second and kind of like thought about what just happened. I remember calling the nurse and saying, I think my water broke. And then I called my mom, and then I called Trent to see, because he had stepped out to get some food or whatever. And so once my water broke, that's when things got real. The pain was on a 50,000. The nurse came back in and she did another cervix check. And she did that cervix check after my water broke. I was like, you would thought that I was having the baby right there. Like, terrible, terrible, terrible. The worst pain I've ever been in my entire life. And I remember just saying, you know what, I'm just going to get the epidural because I can't take, like, I was bawling, crying. My mom was there. She was trying to hold my hand. And I didn't think that I would be such a wimp. But I was, and I talked so much junk during my pregnancy, you know, saying, I'm not going to get an epidural, I'm going to go natural, I'm going to, no, boo-boo. When the pain hits, you know how much pain you can take. And I feel like at this point, the attitude that I had on top of the pain, it just wasn't mixing, and I felt like an epidural was the best way for me to go. So after they did that cervix check, I was 3 centimeters dilated. They started me, so that was about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. 3 centimeters dilated, and so they took, well, the pill had already dissolved. That was, you know, stuck in my vagina. And so then they were going to start the Pitocin, and I believe they started that at around 4. Before they did the Pitocin, they did another cervix check. I was like 6 centimeters dilated at that point, before Pitocin. They put me on Pitocin. At that point, I had not had an epidural yet. The Pitocin cranked things up even more. I was in so much pain. The contractions were coming, and they were like one after the other. I had like maybe 15 seconds between each contraction. That's how fast they were coming in. And I couldn't take it. And I was like, I remember begging them to bring the anesthesiologist in to do my epidural. So he came in and he was just talking and explaining what the epidural was. I understand what I'm getting. I just want you to stick this needle back there so I can stop feeling like this. So they gave me the epidural. After the epidural, literally, like after that, they checked me again. I was about 8.5 centimeters dilated. So I went from 3 to 8.5 centimeters dilated in like 30 minutes, which was crazy for me. And so after the epidural, the nurse, I had an amazing nurse, by the way. She was like, you're doing so good. We're going to have this baby tonight. At first, they thought we were going to have her on Wednesday. Yeah. On Wednesday, but after they found out that I was 8 centimeters dilated, they pretty much just said, you know, you're probably going to have him tonight at midnight. At this point, all of my family was there. Trent's mom was there. And the nurse was like, you know what, guys, I think it may take a little longer for her to reach the full 10. And so you guys can pretty much go home, and we'll just call you if anything happens. Literally, everybody said bye. They left. It was just me and Trent in the hospital room. And she checked me again after my family left, and I was pretty much 10 centimeters dilated. So they had just left, literally 5 minutes before that, and I had to call them back. They had just driven down the street. I called them back. I was like, guys, we're having the baby now. And they was like, okay, we're coming back. And after that, they started setting up the room. I didn't care. I was so exposed. My legs were open from that point forward, and it just, I don't even want to know what it looked like down there. I feel as though after the epidural, I didn't feel anything, which was amazing. But at that point in time, it was just my mom in the room, the nurse, and Trent. And so the nurse was like, we're going to do this contraction. I want you to push and bring your legs back and just push for 10 seconds. Take a deep breath and push like you're pushing, like you're having a bowel movement, which anybody who knows me during this pregnancy knows that I did not want to poop on the table. Lord, I did not want to have a bowel movement while I was having this baby. I don't think I did. I really don't think I'm very positive that I did not have a bowel movement, which I'm very happy about. But then again, I had an epidural. I don't think I talked to my mom about what she saw down there, or Trent, but I really don't think I used the bathroom. And then from that point forward, I was pushing. I couldn't feel if I was pushing right because I was numb, but apparently I was, because all I heard was my mom screaming, oh my God, she has tons of hair, which, you know, she does. And I was pushing for about 20 minutes. I remember like the third or the fourth push, she told the nurse, like, okay, I need you to stop. And I was like, stop? And she's like, just stop pushing, hold her right there. I was like, well, I can't hold this baby right here in my vagina canal. I don't know what it feels like to hold her there. I can't. Do you want me to reach down and hold her head? I didn't understand what she meant by that, but I guess I just was like clenching or something. And I guess it meant that she was about to come. So they called the actual doctor. I had an amazing doctor. And they called him in, and all the people from Zion came in, and everybody from the hospital came in. Oh, yeah. And they all came in, and I did like one or two more pushes. And my mom was just like, there she is. And I felt her come all the way out. And I heard her cry for the first time, and it was so beautiful. Are you waking up? Yeah. They put her on my chest, and it was definitely something beautiful. She had the chinkiest eyes, which I expected to get from her dad. I tried to breastfeed after that for the first time, and she latched on very, very well. It's kind of painful. But after that, they really just cleaned me up, and we moved to a recovery room, and we stayed there for 2 days. And hospital, we had tons of visitors, lots of nurses, lots of people coming in the next day to see, you know, ask questions and all that other stuff. It was very annoying. But I think I felt better at the hospital because the day I went home, I was so stressed out. I was so tired. She definitely kept me up all night long crying. And she went through this thing where she was just like wanting to feed every 30 minutes. Put her in a lot of different clothes just because she's a girl and we got to do girly things and everything like that. But that's my labor and delivery story. We took her home the next day, and so far I've just been getting used to the feeding schedules and the sleeping schedules and knowing her cues and all the other stuff. I am breastfeeding. When I was at the hospital, she latched on so good, but I guess when my milk actually did come in, it's been harder for her to latch on, so really I'm just pumping right now. But she's so beautiful, guys. Like, she is our little princess. Okay. Just lay back, daughter. Just lay back. She's our little princess. But she's not even a week old. Today would be a week, actually. She's born at 11:39 on Tuesday, so I'm just so thankful for her. I had an amazing time at the hospital. I was in labor for about 30 hours. Whew. And being a first-time mom, I was really like wondering what I would feel like. People say you'll know right away. It's a love like no other. And I definitely believe that. For me, I think it was just shock, and then that feeling, the overwhelming feeling of like love and wanting to, you know, just be the best that you can for her. That feeling came gradually for me, but it's definitely here. Like I definitely have that protective thing over her. But I hope you guys like this video. If you have any questions, I don't think I touched on everything regarding pregnancy in this video. But if you do have any questions, I'm no expert, clearly, because this is my first time. But, you know, if you have any more questions about anything that went on during the 9 months, anything specific, I'll be happy to answer. So make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Share this video or, you know, whatever. Hit me up on Facebook. Follow me on social media. It's Xenia Passy. I'll have all of that in the description bar below. And follow me on Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter. I'll have that information below as well. But we're going to log out. And I'm going to, you want to say bye? Do you want to say no? Yeah, I know. Say bye. Say bye. Say bye-bye. She's been knocked out like all day. And I don't even think she looks like me. She looks like her dad and my brother. That's it. But, say bye. All right, bye guys.
Let's skip the awkward run.